Hey, welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And this is Questions Coffee Cars 195. 5 to go, Andrea, until we hit 200. Yeah. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday I put a post out asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
What's the future of Genesis G70? I'm really liking what Genesis has been doing, and from your video I found Genesis did a good job as per JD Power 2, but I'm looking for a sedan and the only option from Genesis in my budget would be the G70, but really unsure of its future. You know, I asked Genesis about this and they said, you know, they're staying on course with the G70 for now. But if you look at rumors online, it does say that the plan is that they're going to make an electric compact sedan. It won't have the G70 name. And it will be on a different platform, of course. But these are rumors. Nothing has been confirmed by Genesis.
Probably what will happen is they'll do a parallel launch. They'll probably say, okay, we're going to bring a G70 electrified and a new G70. The sedan space is shrinking. Like, people just aren't buying sedans. So they have it in the market, and it was a big launch for them. When they first introduced Genesis, that was kind of like the pointy end of the spear. It's just not a big market anymore. So I could see them reinvesting in it and coming up with a new one, or I could also just see them saying, we're just going to stick with SUVs and come out with maybe a subcompact crossover Genesis. Probably is more valuable to them. Yeah,
like Acura did with the ADX. You know, we were just in Copenhagen with Mercedes-Benz and they launched the CLA EV. And they've got a platform where they can also do a 48-volt mild hybrid system. And both vehicles look the same, whether you get the EV or you get the mild hybrid, just the grills are a little bit different. But you would be hard-pressed to tell when you look at them. You
can't tell.
So I would say that it is possible that Genesis, they're talking a lot about hybrids, that maybe they'll do something like that. I don't know. Or will they just do strictly an EV platform? We see Toyota recently with the Lexus ES coming out with a platform that is hybrid and electric. And Zach and I believe that maybe the IS will have that same platform as the ES.
As soon as you brought up Copenhagen, it just twigged in my head.
Yeah.
Thinking about our recent travels to Korea. And now that I think it through, after this conversation, priming the pump here, Andrea, is that when we're in South Korea, in Seoul, sedans are huge there. People love sedans in other parts of the world. So I'm going to re-answer the question is I believe, yes, they will do a G70 because sedans are so popular in their home market. And in other parts of the world, sedans still are very, very popular. So I would bet they will redo it. It might be the electrified version, as Andrew mentioned, but yeah, I think it'll be redone.
What is the future of the Fisker brand? I read that it has gone bankrupt. However, I must see 10 Oceans a day in New York City where I live. I actually like the look of it. I got an interesting story from Edmunds, but you know, they really dropped the price on that. And I think that's probably why you're seeing so many.
But they had to give them away. I mean, they're like, have you bought a Fisker? It's worth nothing. It's worth nothing. Like, the people that bought Fiskers, what the hell are they going to do with them? So the company's gone bankrupt unless somebody comes in and scoops up the assets and then continues to make the car. But the problem is, in the world, there's too much electric car capacity, especially in China. They're making too many cars. And Henrik Fisker and the Fisker brand have been trying to kick this thing down the road for 15 years. And the first sedan wasn't successful. That was the hybrid. And then they brought out this, and it's just
hasn't been
like
good.
when you look at even like Rivian. Rivian is way more popular than Fisker, but they're having a hard time too.
It's not easy. It's not easy. So this is from Edmunds. Edmunds says, do not buy one.
I wouldn't touch one with a 10-foot pole.
But here's the reason.
I wouldn't buy one with your money.
No. I would never buy one. Never. But this is what they said. They purchased their Ocean Extreme in January of 2025 for just over $69,000 US. And Edmund says after driving it for over 2 months and 4,000 miles, in one day, its resale value on paper dropped at least 43%. Now, they took their vehicle to a local CarMax store for an appraisal on March 29th to see the value because of all the company's problems. Edmunds, by the way, is a division of CarMax, and they fully disclosed this in the article I read. And they were presented with an offer of $21,000 US with a depreciation of 69.6%.
I don't think it's worth $21,000. I wouldn't, you're talking about buying a car that is from a company that doesn't exist anymore. No. I don't think it's worth anything. I wouldn't buy it with your money or your neighbor's money. There are so many other options out there.
Yeah.
Just buy a used Model Y if that's what you want.
For sure. Does the RAV4 have all-wheel drive even at high speeds? I think you're talking about the hybrid.
Yes, it does.
It does. I spoke to Toyota about that and a while ago. So it's funny that you're asking that now.
Because early iterations of the e-hybrid, the e-four-wheel drive, I should say, were lower speeds, and then they updated it.
Yeah, so they say not anymore. Only the previous generation Prius 2019 to 2022 and the UX 250H were impacted. The smaller rear electric motor limitation. So it was, as far as I understand, it was up to 70 kilometers an hour and 44 miles per hour.
But that's all been changed.
That's all changed. So it's no problem anymore. You're good to go. Don't worry about that.
Not that you're getting a lot of, it's not like a mechanical four-wheel drive system. It's e-assist at the rear wheels, but it's better than a kick in the backside.
For sure. PHEV fits my driving lifestyle. What are the top picks in this category? And do you have any reservations in this technology?
Well, we just know that the studies have come back from the categories of vehicles with the most and least problems. Least problems are just regular hybrids. Most problems are plug-ins.
Well, that was before it was always electric vehicles, but in a recent 90-day J.D. Power study, which I know some of you hate 90 days, PHEVs are the ones that top the list with problems beating out electric vehicles. So it is a more complex system. My mom owns a Tucson plug-in hybrid, and she loves it, and she's had no issues with it. And it's a 2022 model, and that was one of the first on the road.
So if you could get a RAV4 Prime, I just don't think it's worth the money, what they're asking for that car. You just look at the price of a RAV4 Prime, is that you can get a fully electric car for the same or less, depending on the size you want. And then the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV is going to be updated, arriving the first quarter of next year with a bigger battery, and obviously bigger battery means more range. And then the Korean twins are excellent.
I think they're great. The great thing about the Outlander is that I don't know what they will do for the new model year, but there's a lot of trims. So you can get into a plug-in hybrid at a more affordable price range than the RAV4 Prime, or they're not calling it the Prime anymore, but the plug-in hybrid. I really like the Koreans. I like the Tucson and I like the Sportage. I think they make great plug-in hybrids. However, their range is just 50 kilometers.
Yeah.
Which is, what is that, 42 miles of range?
50 kilometers, 30 miles.
Okay, 30 miles of range. So that may, I think that they can do better on the range.
They will, and every upgrade, like we've been talking about this with anything electrified, every upgrade brings you more of everything.
Yeah.
What we want to wait and see on it with the Outlander, and I would say probably the best value proposition is going to be the Outlander, because it has already currently 61 kilometers, like 35 miles roughly of range.
Yeah.
Is it's going to have a bigger battery. If they're going to be able to work on the thermal management, remember at minus 20 or so Celsius, people were having the cars bricking on them in cold weather. So we'll have to get in front of the Mitsubishi people and find out if they've addressed that. We hope they have. Isn't a concern for areas where you don't get cold weather like that, but it is in places like Quebec.
So a software update was done, and at the time when we had a very cold winter, it wasn't this last winter, but the winter before, where temperatures really dropped, we were flooded with messages from viewers saying they have an Outlander and they had problems. Well, Mitsubishi addressed it right away, and they were very good when we reached out to them because we happened to have the Outlander plug-in hybrid at the time. We had to add to our video. Anyway, they did a software update, but it was done after the cold weather had hit. So people weren't sure if it worked. However, I have to say this last winter, I never heard from anybody.
Yeah, but last winter was a very, very warm winter across North America. We didn't have really massive cold snaps like the year before. So we'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to get in front of them to see if anything, because it's a new battery, bigger battery, what they've done around that thermal management. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it'll fix.
We're hoping the drive event will be sometime at the beginning of 2026, so then we can get in front of the team. Now, I want to add, please subscribe. We do a lot of different videos. We do new car reviews. We do questions, coffee, and cars. Sometimes we do studies. And we'd love you to subscribe and then hit that notification bell,
Andrea,
because then you'll be notified when
head office. Yes. Oh, thank you. They've extended the summer sale through to Labor Day. Thank you.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Anytime.
Summer sale is extended. And my bet is, this is just my theory, they're probably going to extend it into winter.
By the way, so what we're offering here is at the summer sale is the subscriptions are free. So you click on the subscribe button, doesn't cost anything.
Or the notification bell.
That's free too. That's being thrown in.
As extra, it's a bundle, and it's all free.
Love it.
I was always wondering what kind of damages would cause on EVs if taking on gravel roads all the time, and if that would have any impact on manufacturer warranty. So it doesn't have, if you go on gravel roads, it doesn't have any impact on the warranty. However, let's say you're on the gravel road, and I'm just going to say, I don't even know why you would have a big boulder, but let's say you did.
Well, some roads you go around and there's a big boulder.
Okay, so say there is, and you impact the battery, or you impact the plate that holds the battery in place, you may have a problem. And the warranty doesn't cover the battery when there's an impact. Now,
that would be your insurance company.
That would be your insurance company. And typically what we see is they write off the vehicle, because at this time there are many manufacturers that can't replace cells within a battery. So you'd have to replace the whole battery, and batteries are costly, and so they just write off the vehicle. If you are concerned about that and you are on gravel roads all the time and you really want an EV, you could pick an electric vehicle that has higher ground clearance, like Subaru.
Yeah, I was just going to say that because we were just in New York City with the Subaru with the Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Trail Seeker.
And I said to Subaru, what's with the name Uncharted? I think it's a terrible name myself. But anyway, but Subaru's all in on marketing their electric vehicles, and they show them always driving off-road. And I think to myself, like, wait a second, if you go around a corner and there's a big boulder and you hit it, you know, that's the thing. If you're doing a lot of gravel road driving and you want to have an electrified vehicle, a plug-in hybrid would be the way to go, because the plug-in hybrid batteries are inside the car.
Yes.
So even if you were driving down a gravel road and there's a boulder there, it would hit the bottom of the car. It wouldn't hit the battery. It might dent the bottom of the car, but it's not going to impact the battery like an EV would. So you can kind of split the difference. Even a Jeep Wrangler 4xe, the battery is under the rear seat. So that's one way to mitigate that. I just wonder about this marketing Subarus for their off-road prowess. Is that going to be long-term folly? I don't know.
Well, remember we drove the Solterra. It was light off-roading in California. I think we were in Palm Springs. Anyway, it was light off-roading. But even then, I was kind of like, geez, did they really check this route out? They did.
They actually did. You'd be driving along and there was a boulder, and they actually, anything that was jagged that could hit the bottom of the car, they spray painted it like orange or red.
Yeah, they let us know.
So they were like, don't go over that.
That's a no-go. So
that's a no-go, dog. You know what? Get an air suspension. Get a car with air suspension. You know, raise it up.
Anyway, definitely the higher ground clearance is helpful. The BZ4X has higher ground clearance. Subaru models do.
I like that. What's the Trail Seeker?
Trail
the wagon?
Seeker, it looks good.
I think the wagon looks really cool.
They updated it all and it looks way better, I think.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
I would go PHEV personally if you're doing a lot of gravel roads.
In my hometown, Portland, Oregon, there are lots of used car lots. Quite a few of them are operated by car rental companies. Is it advisable to purchase a vehicle from a rental company? Do those car rental companies turn their cars over after a certain amount of time and or mileage?
Yes, they do.
Well, they do. And some of them, it's only 3 years in some cases. A couple things to keep in mind. Usually they're lower trims, so you're not going to get all the bells and whistles. When it comes to updates, like if there's a recall, they get it done. Maintenance is pretty good because they have to make sure they work. People are renting their vehicle, but they have high mileage. Remember that, because in 3 years, you're definitely going to have a high mileage vehicle. But I think that they're not bad.
Depends
They're not bad.
on how much cheaper it is than what you would get if it wasn't at a rental place.
Yeah.
So the thing about rental car companies is they buy the cars on fleet, right? So they're not buying it from going to the Ford dealer. They're getting it through a fleet purchase, and they're buying thousands of cars, and they get a much cheaper rate. To Andrea's point, they go with a mainline trim. They don't go with usually higher end trims. It's like got enough stuff in it, but not too fancy. And then they run them, and then they sell them, and they're trying to mitigate the cost of the wholesale price and the retail resell price. And then running them in the middle. So what you would look for is ones that maybe don't have the high mileage, maybe a car that's not as popular as some of the others, and you have to get it inspected. A lot of these ones come with extra warranty though, so that might be something that is worth looking at.
Yeah.
But if you're just wanting it, here, listen, have you bought a used rental? Right below, let us know your experience. I wouldn't be opposed to it if it was like super cheap and it was like a mainline car that was easy to get serviced or something. Like if it was like a Camry, I'd buy a Camry.
Yeah, and you also think about if it's only 3 years old, it has all that updated technology that a lot of people want. If the maintenance has been done, I think it's just the high mileage. But let's say you don't do a lot of mileage yourself, and that might balance out quite nicely for you. And if the price is right and the maintenance has been done, when we were in Newfoundland on our road trip with Cadillac and Chevrolet, you know what? We saw a ton of rentals Zach, can you remember?
Oh, it was the Grand Wagoneer.
Grand Wagoneer, but it wasn't. It was a Buick. Can you remember which one? Zach has
me and my Buicks. The Buick Invista.
Right. Yes.
The Buick Invista.
A ton of rentals of the Buick Invista. So I think it's not a bad idea.
The caveat is collision. If the car has been whacked and you have to then pull a Carfax on it and have it inspected and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if it's not much cheaper than just buying it off somebody else, then don't bother. The other thing is, I know here where we live, you have to disclose if the car was ever used for rental, courier, Uber, anything like that. Yeah. So that is, if you get a good deal on it, you're going to have to pass that deal on when you sell the car. But to Andrea's point, if you get a car and you buy it and you just run it into the ground, it might not be a bad purchase. But all subject to inspection. These cars go somewhere, so people are buying them. Have you bought one? Let us know.
My husband and I are looking for a second vehicle. We have the 2024 Honda HR-V and looking for something similar or smaller, but definitely in a hybrid. My husband is 6'3", so looking for good headroom suggestions. So the HR-V is in the subcompact class. There aren't a lot of hybrids in that class, and you're saying that size or smaller. So I'm assuming you want to stay in the subcompact. So you really have the Toyota Corolla Cross or you have the Kia Niro. I'm trying to think of any others. So there aren't a lot of options in that class.
The Niro, by the way, we drove it at the launch. I couldn't believe it doesn't have a lot of power. I mean, if you're just using it for putting around and you don't care about the power, it's just an appliance. The Nero shocked me by how efficient it was. It returned great fuel economy. Now you could get out and run faster
It
in
was
some
slow.
instances. It's like I said, if you're just putting around in it
Yeah.
and you don't care, you're going to a grocery store and doing stuff like that, it'll deliver the mail all day long. But the Nero was so thrifty on fuel, and it actually is a boxy shape, and it might do the trick. The Corolla Cross is going to be much more expensive, or you just buy a regular gas car that fits your needs, like something that's got good headroom, like a Taos.
I'm going to throw one out for you.
I want to hear it. What is it?
Lexus UX 300H.
Oh, no.
It's going to cost
Forget
you
it.
a little bit more money.
No, do not buy that.
But
Terrible headroom.
you are happy with a smaller vehicle. Headroom, yeah, maybe not.
Andrea,
headroom.
he's a big guy.
I think it's a great
From
one.
someone
Okay,
who's
how
not
about-
6'3",
how
it's
about a
easy for you to say get a
How
UX.
about this one? How about this one? Ford Maverick Hybrid.
Oh yeah, that's
How
what.
about that one?
Get him that. He'll be happy with that. Ford Maverick
Headroom.
Hybrid, lots of space.
Don't spend too much.
Get
you
the
don't need
base
to get
model.
the top trim.
Andrea, now you're talking. Ditch the UX. Go for the Maverick.
Yeah, I was thinking
Just
about
everybody
the UX because you said smaller, but you're right about the height.
You know what, Andrea? Everybody should just have a Maverick. It's just such a great. I want one.
Anyway, Maverick, go and drive one. It's terrific. I've heard that Honda might be planning to bring back the Crosstour as a 2026 model. Have you folks heard anything about it? Any plausible rumors? And a special thanks for all you do in giving us the straight scoop in a world of too many clickbait, AI-generated car videos. You folks are a welcome breath of fresh air.
There are AI-generated videos?
I don't know,
Oh, I
but-
think I know what they are. They use, I got to tell you, it's a real problem. They steal our footage.
They steal our footage.
They steal our footage and they go, oh, the 2025 ADX, and then they show the car driving along, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I shot that. Wait a second.
I know.
Drives me nuts.
So there is a lot of clickbait. Forget about the videos. Let's just talk about a summary by Gemini when you type it in. I can tell you right now that what you are reading online saying that the Crosstour is coming for 2026, they've even got the engine and the horsepower. I can assure you that that is a rumor. We were just at the Celebration of Light with Honda, our fireworks display in Vancouver at English Bay, and the PR person, John, had just come from Ontario and he hosted us, and it was lovely to speak with John. And basically he told us, stand by, lots of new Honda models are coming. And we said, John,
We love when you
have
talk
a
dirty
few
like
more
that.
beers.
So tell us all about it.
He didn't tell us.
He didn't tell
a
us what
thing.
it was, but he said, though, just put your seatbelt on. There's going to be a flood of new products.
Yep.
And we said, oh, what about an HRV hybrid? He goes, I can't say anything, but just wait. There's going to be a whole bunch of new products. I think, what was it called? The Crosstour?
Crosstour.
What
That actually, they stopped making that in 2015.
A terrible car. It was a terrible car. I'll tell you why. It was just had terrible headroom. It was ahead of its time. I just never understood it. I see them, and then the other one was the ZDX or the ZDX from Acura. It just were just not the right fit. I don't see why they would bring that back. And maybe what you're really digging for, which I would be all over, Andrea. Remember the Honda Accord wagon.
Yeah.
You bring that back with a hybrid,
I
and you
doubt
turn
that.
it into a all, like a Subaru kind of thing. Raise it up, a little bit of cladding, Honda Accord wagon, hybrid cladding. That would move. People would buy that.
I doubt that'll happen, but good thought, Zach. Good thought. I want to
And maybe
say,
they'll call
I
it.
said
They'll
to
call
John,
it. Use the same name.
I said to John, when's that Prelude hybrid coming? It's coming, Andrea. It's coming.
He also
I can't
said.
wait for that one. Oh, and then I threw out, how about ADX hybrid? Stay tuned.
So we're recording this in advance. Is dropping the day I think that there's going to be Prelude news.
Oh,
So.
I'm excited about
This is
Prelude.
recorded before the day it's supposed to come out.
I think it
but
looks
but
so
he
good.
he did say this week, there's going to be
That's
some
right.
Prelude news. They showed
did
it
say
at the
that.
Goodwood Festival of Speed, and I said to him, "Oh, this has got to be one of the greatest marketing coups ever. You take a Civic Coupe and call it the Prelude." He said, "Hold my beer. It's not what it is. I'm not convinced yet, but I think That's what it is.
But
It's
that's
a
what
Civic
Zach's
Coupe.
been saying to him. So in regards to the Crosstour, I think that maybe they're like the Prelude. This new Prelude looks nothing like the old Prelude. So it's possible that they may use the name and come up with a whole new vehicle.
Maybe they'll take a Honda Accord wagon and they'll raise it up a little bit, put some cladding on it in a hybrid and call it the
Crosstour.
That's what I just said. I think that would move, Andrea. People would
Maybe,
buy
Zach.
that. But just don't bring back that ugly thing they had before.
Let's pin that, Zach, and see if
Pin it.
you're
Let's
right
put a
one
pin
day.
in that.
Is it worth trading in and getting a 6th generation RAV4 if you already have the 5th generation? I assume the resale value for the 5th generation RAV4 hybrid would still be quite high. Yes, it probably would, but I'm not sure I would do that.
We have to wait till we drive it.
Hey, we don't
It's
even
got more
know.
power. It's got more
got
power.
better tech.
It's got better tech.
It's good. It's standard all-wheel drive.
Standard all-wheel drive.
There's no more gas
No more
model
gas
RAV4.
model.
I don't know. We haven't driven it. I do like that Woodland model.
I
think that looks
listen,
pretty good.
We're going to drive it in the fall, and then we'll let you know. But I don't think it's a massive change from the formula that works. I think it's the same. I believe it's the same platform as the last one with new updated powertrain, new interior, and new sheet metal on the outside. But I don't think it's going to be dramatically different. Hopefully, they've updated the sound insulation. That would be welcome. And it does have a little bit more power. But I think that it's not going to be revolutionary.
No, and that's what most people are worried about. They're asking, can you let us know what the sound quality is like when you get it in? And we will. But it's the same system. But who knows? I don't want to say. We'll just wait and see. If you want to get a question in, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday I put a post out asking for questions. It's up for a short time because we get so many. Then we pick the questions and, hey, we start the show.
Yeah, she's wrapping it up. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for watching.
They said you went long.
Pardon me?
Put a note on the file, yes. Okay, email on file.
That's terrible. Email on file. I have to talk to human resources around here for the Motormouth YouTube channel. How rude.